Yo, what is going on, guys? Here today we'll be doing a how to play Loki ADC. Now first I'll explain why should you do Loki ADC compared to solo, and then I will basically pretend I'm level 1 and I will basically explain how to play Loki ADC from the first minute of the game until around late game, because no matter what lane you are, late game Loki is going to basically be the same. So, why is Loki ADC better than solo and how is it not? So, at first, many Loki players should know that it's not fun fighting against a Sun Wukong or Bellona or Tyr. You will most likely be outpushed. Actually, like 90% of the time you will be outpushed. And if you try to outpush the enemy warrior, he'll just kill you, because he can do whatever the heck he wants. And it's just really frustrating. You'll be behind gold, it's just annoying. So that's a con for solo and a pro for AD dual lane, because in dual lane you do not have to worry about a warrior outpushing you. In fact, you're going to be outpushing them later on. Like after level 7, you'll be outpushing the enemy ADC all the time. So put your 2, and they'll be at the tower. You can even kill them. Like, it's easier to kill a hunter than it is a warrior. That is a fact. So that's why I prefer Loki ADC. The cons for Loki ADC is that you are the ADC, which means your goal, your responsibility is to carry the team or do well and basically kill the enemy carry. As if you guys play Loki ADC, you guys have to kill the enemy ADC. Kill him over and over and over and over. Make sure he does not get ahead. Make sure you're at least like 3 to 5 levels ahead of him. That's basically how much I want you to massacre him. Now, that doesn't mean just only focus him, but I'm just saying that if you can kill anyone, kill the enemy ADC. That's your goal. If the enemy ADC is down, then your team don't have to worry about an annoying hunter dealing like 1,000,000 damage from a distance. That's really good. And plus, you'll be ahead too. And killing enemy hunter is really easy, guys. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. Like, no hunter can fight a Loki one-on-one. Not saying that Loki can beat any hunters in, for example, duels, the game. That's a different game mode. I'm talking about Conquest here. Hunters cannot fight a Loki unless he or she buys protections, but even then, that's a different story. They basically both have AC lane and solo lane, both have the same amount of gold. So solo lane does get a pro for being the highest level in the game. Solo lane technically or usually becomes the highest level in the game. They're always like the farthest one ahead on experience because they're by themselves. So you will not be a higher level than the solo laner. However, in dual lane, unlike solo lane where you do not get any support, in dual lane you do get a support who helps you on early game, so you won't be so far behind and you don't have to be cowardly in your tower. You will have a support who will help you. We even actually sometimes, whenever I play with a Khepri, we sometimes even outpush and push the enemy ADC / support to their tower. It's really good. So you have a assist early on. However, because of the fact that Khepri or whoever stays in your lane for a bit, you will be splitting your gold and your experience half. So that's why you will not be getting ahead compared to solo lane. So ultimately, what I'm just saying is dual lane is much easier for Loki, and also solo lane is meant for warriors or tanky gods, because Loki in your game is an automatic 4 versus 5. Having Loki in solo lane is a automatic 4 versus 5 and less tankiness in your team. And we don't need that. This is why Loki ADC is better, because not only you'll have a warrior in your team, but you will also be the carry. Like, I mean, people say that hunters are better than Loki, and you could agree, but the thing is, though, Loki will deal more damage than a hunter can. By the time the hunter pulls off maybe 2 to 3 autos, they'll be dead, because Loki only needs to pull 2 or 3 autos and like kills them because of his abilities. So yeah, dual lane is much easier for Loki, but it's also if you mess up, you will be held responsible. Compared to solo, where they can do whatever the heck they want. I mean, the solo lane can lose all they want, but they won't be entirely blamed. In solo lane, the only help you'll be getting is none. You're not supposed to be getting any help in solo lane. If you ask the jungler to come to your lane, that means you are losing in your lane. That means you are not doing well at all. Solo lane is called solo for a reason. The jungler, if the jungler has to come to your lane in the solo lane and has to gank to help you with that Bellona, then that means that the Hunbats is like not somewhere else, which means the ADC, the one who carries, will most likely die because there's a Thanatos or a Fenrir attacking the enemy ADC, while your Hunbats or whatever is attacking the enemy Bellona or whatever, who probably can kill both of you or get away. So level 1, pretend I am level 1. The first thing you want to get is Charge Morningstar with 3 health and 3 mana. The reason why you do not get more mana or more health is because sometimes you'll need more mana and sometimes you'll need more health. So that's why you want to have it balanced out. Because if you have, for example, if you have this, you might be using, because remember, you will not have a blue buff. You do not have a blue buff. You will have a boar camp, and that's it. So there's no buff for you. If this was, for example, solo lane, here's another pro for solo lane is that they get a buff, blue buff, so that it's means you can literally be aggressive, but you can't be aggressive against a warrior. So yeah, it just kind of counters it. But anyway, your 1 costs a lot of mana. Like, I'm talking about a lot, 70. While your 3 only costs 50, no matter what rank it is. So this is why you want to have it even, because sometimes you'll need to use your 1 to get away, and you'll be losing like literally half your mana with one ability. Loki is a very mana-thirsty god. So, for relics, you want to get Sprint. The reason being is because since Loki is such a bad team fighter, he needs Sprint to help his teammates and himself. If your Khepri or Athena is out of position, needs help, because she is going to be clearing for you, and I will remark this, I will say this again in a few seconds from now, but you will need Sprint so you can help your teammate out early on. Do not be afraid to use Sprint. And another good thing about Sprint is early on, this lane is the longest. Oh, it's not. This and this are both the same length. However, the towers are pushed back more. So, yeah, it makes it look like the long lane. But it is basically a long lane to your tower. So, having Sprint, if you're, for example, okay, hold on. If you're attacking right here, and you kill the enemy, right? And then he'll be saying, like, and the Thor, you see Thor ulting right here, right? You want to activate Sprint and then hug the wall, of course, and then just, because Sprint will help you get to your tower faster. So it's just, a Sprint is literally built to be running away, which is good. Getting beads and getting all that Aegis early on, because what's the point of getting beads and Aegis early on if nobody does any damage to you, basically? Then nobody can one-shot you. They can kill you over time, but that's about it. Because once you reach level 12 and beyond, you will get beads. But under 12, at level 1, you want to get sprints. It will help you out. You can rotate better. You can run away better. You don't have to rely on your ult too much. You're just more safe with sprint. And you're also helping out your teammates too. So yeah. Now, for your support, if I have a support right now, which obviously I will in a Conquest game, they'll usually be getting this item right here. Tell them to, and kindly, remember, if they don't, that doesn't really matter. Tell them that Watcher's Gift's passive is completely useless with Loki because I will not be clearing. Loki's clear is not good early until level 7 with full trance. So tell your support to get this item instead, because he'll be the enemy ADC, the enemy support, our support. Holy crap, can't talk. When you put the decoy on the enemy wave, the minion waves will be all like around the decoy. So your Athena can press her 3 right on top of the decoy and hit every single minion around there. But while doing so, the Athena or whatever will take extra damage. So having Mark of the Vanguard allows her to be more, she won't basically risk her life to clear a way for you. However, if he or she gets Watcher's Gift, just let him, don't complain about it. But just letting you guys know is that passive is completely useless for a Loki. However, it can be useful once your support does rotate, which is the only viable reason is why you keep the Watcher's Gift. But anyway, For level 1, you want to level up your decoy, obviously. And then you want to start at red buff with the mid and the support. Kill the red buff, take the spore with you and the support only, head right here, and start clearing. Now, here's how I upgrade my abilities. I am level 1 right now. At level 2, I will put 1 point on my 1 for more of a secure, like I can get away. I'm really defensive, like I play really passively until I reach level 7. So, I put a 1 point to my 1. Once I reach level 3, I'll put another point in my 2. And then once I reach level 4, and here comes the part where I skip my abilities. Now, this can go either two ways. You can upgrade your 3 and have 1 point in your 1, 2 points in your 2, and a 1 point in your 3. Or you can just skip a point, reach level 5, and put a point in your 2, and then your ult. So this will make it where if you chose the path that I choose is you do not upgrade this, you will not have aim strike, but your clear will be better. You will have 3 points in your decoy and a point in your ult to get out. This is a really safer approach than getting your 3 and then getting your ult and only have 2 points in your decoy. The reason why I don't do it is because if I'm right here and I'm being pushed by the enemy, what's the point? I'm not going to be using this ability at all. I'm not going to use my 3 to kill them. So it's not really worth it. I'm going to be playing safe and I'm going to clear the wave. So it's just not worth it. So this is what I usually do. Skip a point. I am level 4 right now. I just hit level 5. I put 1 point here and another point in my decoy. And then, however, if you're right here, right, and you're about to kill the enemy, then go ahead and put a point in your 3. But it is situational. If you put a point in your 3, that means you're more aggressive. If you skip a point at level 4 and then put your point into decoy and then your ultimate, you are playing more passively. At level 6, I will upgrade my point into my 3 because I have to. It does not allow me to put a point in my decoy. Now, I should be once I reach level 7. I'll put another point in my decoy and that's it. Do not upgrade your decoy to max because you do not need to. Your wave or your basic can finish off the 3 guys in the front of the mini wave. By level 7, you want to press B, go back to base, and get full trance. Now, try your best, guys. Try your hardest to make it where you have 1400 gold before you back. Because if you back, you're losing wave and you're going to be behind and you cannot buy anything. If you don't have 1400, you can't buy anything because you're trying to save for Transcendence. Once you have Trance with your decoy at 4 points, at rank 4, you'll basically one-shot the wave. That's all you need. And remember, I'm level 7 right now. So this is what I mean. After level 7, I'll just put a 2 on the wave, and I can do whatever I want. I can start rotating. I can just, this thing called AFK farming, where you're basically clearing the wave, and you're not in the wave, and you're not even in the lane, and you're doing something else. You're clearing the wave while doing something else. That's like double task. That's multitasking. Not a lot of gods can do that. So, yeah. At level 8, at level 8, here comes the other 2 paths you can choose. At level 8, you can choose to max your 1 or your 3. Or put a point in your 1 and put your 3, but if you put a point in your 1 at level 8, then you're going to be maxing it. So, I like to be safe, because if I max my 1, I will have more damage, and I can secure that damage more often. If you guys watch my how to combo video for Loki, I explained why I max my 1, because if I go invisible, they will never know, and they'll never know when I'll come until I actually attack them. But most players will wait for this noise to happen. Once that noise happens, you most likely will be stunned, they'll run away from you, or counter-attack you, blah blah blah. However, if you go invisible and do not use your 3, you just hit them once and then run away, next thing you know, the half of their HP is gone. Wait for this to go back and cool down. Then use your whole combo on him. And he'll be dead. So, at level 8, I would like to upgrade my 1. Level 9, 10, 11. And then, after this, you want to max your 3. And then max your ult. And then finish that last point on your decoy. Now, again, if you go back to my other video on my how to like the combos and why I upgrade my abilities, I'll explain why Assassinate is not worth upgrading. And I'm not going to explain it in this video because that's too long, so go to my other video and I will explain why I upgrade my ultimate, or I do not upgrade my ultimate until I'm forced to. So that's really about it, guys. That's how you start out with Loki until around level 12, and once you reach level 12, you go back to base. Well, I mean, you can go back to base anytime you want, but at level 12, you have to go back to base immediately to get your purification. Do not delay it, guys. Whenever you reach level 12, you need your second active, because if the enemy ADC is level 12 and you're level 14 and he has an extra active and you do not, that can make a big difference between you dying in his tower, because you're most likely going to be tower diving him, and you getting the kill. Like, it makes a difference. So get beads and sprint. Now there is situational choices, like you can get sanctuary instead. However, that's only if, and it's pretty rare, if the enemy team does not have any CC and just has like pure, when I mean by CC, I mean hard CC, not like slows. If they have like no hard CC whatsoever, then you can get sanctuary if they have a lot of burst. But then again, I'm telling you, the slows can be countered by sprint, so that's why, again, I'm saying that soft CC can be countered by sprint. So hard CC, if they do not have that, get sanctuary. If they do, get beads. I still prefer beads no matter what. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm more safe with beads than sanctuary, especially when it comes up. Oh no, it's the same cooldown. Huh, that's interesting. But yeah, you guys can choose. I recommend purification. Now, one more thing with the relic. Why people are gonna say this in the comments somewhere? Why do you not get teleport? Because this item is extremely a waste of an active, and this makes you a complete like split pusher type kind of Loki. And as an ADC, you're not supposed to split push. I hate split pushing in general, which is kind of why I like ADC a lot more than solo. Solo lane, if you play Loki solo, go ahead and get teleport, and you can split push all you want. However, Loki ADC's goal is to take down the enemy ADC and also carry your team. You cannot carry your team if you're not with your team. So you have to be with your team to carry it. So I will be lurking around the enemy team and my team and see if I can get some kills, like snag some guys who are on the far back, or sometimes even I initiate fights, and that's not a really good thing, but I do it because I get really bored. But yeah. So don't get teleported. That item is only good for early game. It's a really waste of an active. It does not protect you from anything. It doesn't give you any immunity whatsoever. In fact, your teleport can even be interrupted. So it's just not good. It falls off extremely. And especially if, what happens if all your towers are gone? Your teleport's completely useless after that, besides to teleport to wards. And again, if you get teleport as Loki, you are becoming more of a split pusher. You do not want to be a split pusher if you're the ADC. You're the carrier. You gotta carry your team, not split push your whole freaking life. So yeah, do not get teleport, and just get beads or sanctuary for your second active. For your rest of your build, however, just get, this is your core item. This is, you always get these 3 items in this order. No buts or ifs. You get this and that's it. And then once you get your core, here comes the branches, like where you get to choose again. If the enemy team is tanky, or if you're struggling on killing someone, you want to get Time's Bane. Because Time's Bane does ultimately give you more damage than Hydra's, because Hydra's is based off of your power, and if you're like level, you should be around level maybe 12, 13, 14, when you have these 3 items right here. So you're not going to have too much power. You're probably going to have around 100 to maybe 200. So 30% of that is not too much. So you want to get Time's Bane, just because if you get Time's Bane, there goes everyone's protections. They're all gone. Because 33%, that's a lot of, that's bye-bye. However, if you're behind, because Hydra's Lament can give you, Hydra's Star can give you 10%, and it is cheaper, obviously. So you can just get this, and then you can get Hydra's later, but the second part of the Hydra's Lament is really good because it gives you 10% cooldown, which gives you a total 30%, and the passive and the power as well is really good. This is for if you're behind or if you are needed to be everywhere. What happens if you guys have max cooldown or have a lot of cooldown? You get to use your abilities more often. What happens if you use your abilities more often? You'll be involved with more activities. You won't be hiding and waiting for your abilities to come up. You'll be everywhere at once. If you need to be everywhere at once, you want to get Hydra's Lament. If you need more damage, if the enemy team is tanky, you want to get Hydra's. Or, sorry, Titan's Bane. So, if you get Titan's Bane, if you get Titan's Bane, you want to get Hydra's next. If you got Hydra's, you get Titan's Bane next. It's your choice. Now, the last item is completely up to you guys, honestly. However, I do not recommend crit, because, like, if you go with this build, you'll basically 2 to 3 shot people. And if you 2 to 3 shot people, you will only have a 20% chance of those 3 shots, which is not high. It's not you don't get 60% chance. It's not like you're adding 3 basic attacks plus 20% equals 60%. No, it's 20% for every basic. So you don't have a good chance at all. So getting Deathbringer is not even a good option, especially with Bloodforge providing more power. So you can get either Bloodforge or Stonecutting. It really depends on you guys. You guys can choose. I'm not going to say which one's better and which one's not because I have a video for that which explains my preferences. I am testing out Shifter Shield, so lately it's been hard to have a late game because people F6 at 10 most of the time, so it's really hard to get Shifter Shields. But yeah, last item, you want to get Bloodforge or Stonecutting. It's your choice, guys. I really don't care. There'll be some people who'll be saying, why not get, I don't know, the Crusher, because I said again, you're not trying to be a split pusher. You're not. What if people say, Beatstick, your goal is not to be the anti-healer. Your goal is to be the carry. The anti-healing should be for your other team. Your support is supposed to get Weakening Curse, or your mage is supposed to get Divine Rune, or someone else is supposed to do that. You're the carry, you're supposed to focus on pure DPS, basically. That's what the carry is. You can't carry if you don't have damage. That's gonna be really about it. So yeah, this is basically my build at the end. My last item is situational again. Some tips and some tricks. If you back here and like I'm talking about, this is like around level 5 to 7. If you back and you have, for example, let's just say, if this is what you have right now in your consumables, you want to sell whatever is in your right consumables or whichever fashion you do. You want to sell your mana potions, basically what I'm saying. Because you don't need mana if you got trance. Assuming that you did back with trance, you want to sell your mana pots because you don't need it because of trance gives you your mana. But you always need a mana pot, or health pot, sorry. Always get a health pot, guys. And also get wards. Tell your support this. Do not ward my lane, just ward mid and Gold Fury. This will put less stress on the support needing to ward your lane, and more of him worrying about the Gold Fury in the mid, which is better. So I could recommend either getting a sentry or 2 wards. If you know the enemy has a sentry, like right here or here, then you want to get a sentry. Now, $120 may be a lot, but it's not really. It's worth it at the end. It's really worth it. You can do whatever heck you want. The normal areas where people ward is right here, here, sometimes here. They ward here, here, and definitely ward in the Gold Fury. So, yeah. That's where they basically everyone wards at. So yeah, get wards every time you back. Every time you back, you get ward. Put it in your starter. Put it in anywhere. Put it in your custom build. You have to get wards. Wards is so important, guys. For every new player out there, wards is literally the key to succeeding in Conquest, and basically in any game mode, really. Having vision on your team, having vision on the enemy team is so important. And since here's another tip. Since we just talked about how the wards are usually around here, you can go invisible right here and then walk around. Because if you're invisible, you cannot be detected by wards. Loki does not... if Loki is vanished, he cannot be detected by wards. So remember that. That is something that a lot of people know. People say wards counter Loki. Well, it's actually the other way around. Loki counters wards unless he goes invisible while he's detected in the thing. Like, if I walk right here on a ward and I'll be noticed, yes. And if I go invisible, Well, you won't see me anymore, but you'll know I'm nearby. So you want to do it like right here beforehand, and then just walk here. And hopefully they don't have a ward there, which most of the time they do not. And then you can go invisible, go right here and take their stings because their camp and their red buff are not going to be warded, and neither will this. These three will not be warded. So this will allows you to get ahead and take the enemy's experience camp, even the mid's red buff. Take it. Don't overdo it. If you don't have your ultimate, or if you know your sprint active is down, something like that, don't be greedy, unless you know you can do it. So, any more tricks? Gold Fury. You most likely will not really be attacking the Gold Fury at all until later on, because unlike a hunter who doesn't have to use their abilities to kill someone, Loki does, and most likely his ultimate's down. Like Loki's ultimate will not do anything to the Gold Fury. Loki cannot secure a Gold Fury, unlike, for example, Medusa ult, Hui ult, or something like that. Like gods can secure, enemy hunters can secure a Gold Fury objectives better than Loki can. Now, sure, you can time your 3 and all, but it's just really, it's kind of difficult, and that just requires skill, which I don't have. Unless you get Hog too, but that's not good. Only Loki jungle should get Hog. So yeah, that's really about it. And that is how that is how to play Loki ADC. If you guys have any comments, questions, concern, please leave your thoughts down below in the comment sections. And as always, I will see you all Loki players later.